Hi guys, Harry Otis here, professional trader for 20 years now. Started my career in 2005, still alive in 2026. So today, July 21st, Tuesday, this is the everything up market. Very, very weird day, okay? Literally, everything is up. Everything is correlated today, okay? We're going to get to that soon, but first let's talk about the technical picture. We're still hovering at the highs. And bringing the moving averages above the 50. So now we have to be technically bullish, okay? We can be bullish or neutral, doesn't really matter. We're just hovering at highs here. We can go up and down, above and below the 50-day moving average. We'll be bullish, neutral, bullish, neutral. It'll just drive us crazy. So let's just stay with a neutral stance as we're hovering at the highs. The market's looking pretty good. Okay, looking pretty good. Technically speaking, we're neutral to bullish, okay? The sentiment, still in fear. If we go higher, we need to get into greed and extreme greed. We have the setup. It's not the ideal setup because we never went to extreme fear. Okay, I would have loved that. We were at the border, but it doesn't mean we can't go higher. Okay, so it sort of favors the bulls here because we are in fear and we are close to highs. Okay, that's what we should be talking about. And so, you have the sentiment on the bullish side and you have the technicals on the bullish side because nothing is really broken down. Okay, and of course the fundamentals. We don't have to go through that because they don't really change that often. We have increased earnings expectations for the S&P 500. We have a high GDP. Jobs are holding up. Yada, yada, yada. We've talked about it 1,000 times. The macro still hasn't broken down yet. So you go with it. Okay, so let's talk about the everything up market. What do I mean by everything up? Okay, well, first, oil is up because two Saudi crude laden tankers make U-turns in Red Sea amid Houthi blockade. So this is we have the Houthis entering the mix. The Houthis are into the occasion. The Houthis are in the war, okay? Because now you're gonna block the Red Sea, not just the Strait of Hormuz. The Houthis are not going to be as effective, I think, in blocking traffic as Iran is. But who knows? Now the U.S. has to attack Yemen. Okay, so you have ship destruction, ship threats, disruption. And of course, escalation in the war, like the war is just starting again. Okay, so let's just see what oil is doing because that's one thing that's up today. It's up, it's up 2%. But this is good because to me, I look at the big picture. I still see oil in a downtrend. This is a fluke move up here because of the war. But despite the fact that the war is back on, we're not at 100. Could we get to 100? It's possible, but all the news is out, the war's on, and we're not at 100. This is very, very bearish to me. Okay, the best possible news for oil, and it's still relatively muted, big picture wise. Yes, could it go higher? Yes, of course. Go back into the neckline. We still not overbought, oversold. We can keep going higher. We're in no man's land here. But I think overall, we'll see. It all depends on what happens coming into the midterms. I don't see Trump being able to get out of this. So just to me, despite all the negative news, you see oil still in a negative pattern. Okay, that's what I want to see. So that's good if you're oil short, which we are. Okay, well, we know that the SPY is up. So oil and SPY are up. Does that make sense to you? This completely breaks the paradigm of the past, months. If oil is up, the market should be down. Okay, and what else should be down? Gold. Gold should be down today, but no, it's just so depressed that it's going to go up. This is a very encouraging sign. It closed at the highs. It's up $75. It's hovering at the lows, still not out of the woods. Still, look at this down move, okay? I suspect we get to this 4,400 level, which is this high, the previous high in October 2025, before going down again and forming a higher low before and re-ensuing its up leg, okay? But the most important thing to remember now, it's a very, very key day that you see gold and oil up. Okay, it's almost like the market doesn't give a crap about the war anymore, okay? So you have gold going up, and what else should go down if gold goes up? The dollar. But no, the dollar is up today, 0.19%. It's a retest of this breakout level and going higher. Can gold and oil go higher at the same time? Yes, we've seen it. Okay, there's no hard and fast rule. Although they are negatively correlated, they're not 100% negative correlated. They're like 0.6, 0.5. So there are occasions where gold and oil go up, okay, which is another strange thing. So this is the everything up market, very, very strange. And what else is up? Yields. The benchmark US 10-year is up, thanks to oil. This makes sense if oil is up. But we should see gold down. We should see commodities down. And the 10-year yield is approaching this level of 4.7 again that we always delineate. It's at highs, okay? And we mentioned that inflation is going to come back if the war and oil are at highs, okay? Because next month's print of inflation is going to reflect this increase in oil. We'll see. We'll have to see what the gasoline stocks are like and diesel stocks are like. It's not just crude, okay? So yeah, we have also, what else? Copper up. How is it possible to see SPY up? Okay, great, woohoo. US oil up, boo. Okay, gold up. Depends. If you're a gold bug, it's yay. If you love the fiat system, it's boo. Okay, Dixie up. Yay? Boo? I don't know. Oh, and don't forget the last thing. SMH up. Okay, semiconductors are strong today. Okay, even though it's still in a downtrend, it's hovering above this level that we made, because remember, we were suspecting that it's a head and shoulders breakdown. And if it comes back up within this area, this is right here. SMH is very important to note that this is a potential bear trap. Okay, breaking the neckline of a head and shoulders that everybody saw coming and then going back up is very, very bad for bears. Okay, so the SMH is key here, that it's up and breaking above. Okay, if it starts going higher at 615 and everything, then this is definitely looking like a bear trap. Remember, we said this breakdown was on very, very high volume. It could have been capitulation type volume. Okay, and it's bearing this out today. However, it's not finished because we're still short term down. It can still go back down. Okay, but if in the coming weeks, in the coming days of this week, it continues to go up, this is looking more and more like a bear trap. Okay, which is good for the bulls. Like we said, this sector is going to go up if the market goes up. We just don't know if it outperforms the other sectors. Okay, we do have one trade going on. Let's see. On Bloom Energy, we shorted a put, the 135, and Bloom Energy is up. This is doing fine right now. Okay, I'm going to keep this into the earnings. I like this. Okay, so it's the everything up market. Okay, and one thing that I'd like to caution you guys on today, speaking about things that could get dangerous, that the everything up market, we haven't seen this in a while. Bitcoin's up too. Okay, and everybody's like, is this the end of Bitcoin? Well, let's bring in the technicals. We have positive divergence. So this was expected. This move is expected. Okay, however, I don't like Bitcoin. I'm not getting into it. Okay, before here we suspected we had negative divergence and it went up. Okay, when this move happened, it broke the 73K level. We had negative divergence, very extreme sentiment, and it did go up. You see, the thing is, you don't know the magnitude of the up move. That's the key. As a trader, you just don't know. We suspected we'd go to 85.90. It never reached there. It went to 83. Okay, so it never even reached that point. We were negative. We're still negative on the space. I don't like it. It can maybe touch the 73K level before going lower again. I just don't like it. Okay, it looks very, very bad. I don't like this space. The positive divergence here, it is playing out now. You have this short-term move. To me, it's not big enough. Okay, so I don't want to play this space unless I'm certain or relatively certain that it's turned around, because to me, this is basically a sentiment and technical play. I don't know the fundamentals. I don't trust the fundamentals of Bitcoin. So to me, it's very negative here. Any bounce is still could be a lower high. So I don't want to go long. Be careful, okay? Even though this is the everything bubble, the everything day, that everything is up today, even Bitcoin, I don't trust the Bitcoin move, okay? Better to stick to other things like SPY. SPY looks ready to go. If this move is consolidated and it rips higher, okay? So today, very strange day, the everything up market, okay? Everything that you bought is up, even things that shouldn't be up are up, given what is happening, okay? And we have an escalation of the war, and yet oil is relatively muted, even though it's up like 2.5%. To me, this is a very muted move on a quote-unquote complete restart of the war, okay? So any kind of peace or whatever, oil is going to form a lower high and go all the way back down. Now it will have fuel to break this 65 level if and when it starts going down again. Okay, so we have gold sort of forming a bottom. We don't know yet. We have to see that it looks good. Good start. We just don't know yet. The dollar, that could be problematic. I would like to see the dollar roll over as gold goes higher. It would be better for the move. Okay, it is a retest and it's holding the retest. Okay, so this is a asterisk that we as gold bulls should keep an eye on. And of course, look at the yield, the US 10-year yield approaching this level. Whenever it comes here, something always happens to bring it down. Okay, whether Trump starts becoming more dovish, Federal Reserve starts becoming dovish, something happens to bring it down because the US can't afford 4.7% or 5%, climbing towards 5% 10-year yield. It can't afford that. Okay, so that's it. And of course, let's finish with the SMH bear trap. This is potentially a bear trap, although not yet. Okay, it can still roll over. Okay, to be determined. Okay, we'll know if it goes above the 620-ish level. Okay, this head and shoulders will have been nullified, bear trap confirmed, and it'll probably go higher. Okay, so that's it, guys. Let's see what happens tomorrow and the rest of the week. We have important earnings coming up this week. We have Intel, I think, on Thursday night, and we have, I think, American Express on Friday morning. Okay, so looking forward to that. Let's see what happens. Later, guys.